Baxter was the kind of puppy that brought light into every room he entered. With his soft brown fur, floppy ears, and eyes as big as marbles, he was the very definition of innocence and love. From the moment his owners, Emily and Jack, brought him home, Baxter filled their lives with joy. He would bounce around the house, chasing his tail or hopping after butterflies in the backyard. His favorite thing in the world was curling up on Emily's lap at the end of the day, his little body warm and comforting. But as perfect as life seemed, no one could have predicted the tragedy that lay ahead. It started with a small cough one chilly autumn evening. Emily thought maybe Baxter had just gotten into something dusty. But the next morning, the cough turned into a wheeze. His playful energy was gone, replaced by lethargy, and his little body trembled. Worried, they rushed him to the vet. After hours of waiting, the vet delivered the devastating news. Baxter had contracted a rare and aggressive form of pneumonia. It was something that came out of nowhere, a freak illness that usually only struck much older dogs. Emily and Jack couldn't believe it. Just days ago, he was so full of life. They did everything they could. Expensive treatments, sleepless nights beside his bed, feeding him by hand when he was too weak to eat. But no matter what they did, Baxter's condition only worsened. His breathing became labored, and his once vibrant eyes became clouded with pain. One night, the coughing became unbearable. Baxter began to convulse, gasping for air as his small lungs filled with fluid. Emily and Jack rushed him back to the vet, but it was too late. As they sat in the cold, sterile waiting room, they could hear him struggling in the back, the sounds of his desperate breaths echoing down the hall. Suddenly, there was silence. The vet came out, her face pale and solemn. Baxter had passed away, but not peacefully. His tiny body had fought until the very end, gasping for breath in what felt like a battle he could never win. Emily and Jack collapsed into each other, tears streaming down their faces. They had known he was sick, but no one had expected it to end like this, so painful, so cruel. The house felt emptier than it ever had before. His toys still scattered on the floor, his little bed untouched. Every corner of the home seemed haunted by his absence. The worst part wasn't just that Baxter was gone, it was how he had suffered, how they couldn't save him, and how in his final moments, the light that once shone so brightly in his eyes had been replaced by agony. They say time heals all wounds, but for Emily and Jack, the memory of Baxter's final moments would forever remain a deep scar, a reminder of how fragile and fleeting life can be.